So we're seeing the vastly improved battle between Flashy Flash and Sonic in this chapter. It's actually turning out to be one of the best single chapter fights in the series. Not only that, we're also feeling Saitama's terrifying presence in this chapter. It's been a little bit since he hasn't really done much as of late, and it seems like he's probably going to be sitting out the majority of this arc, if not all of it. But coming off of the previous chapter, we saw a flashback between Empty Void fighting Blast, and we found out that Empty Void is like rivaling Cosmic Furgaro in power now, meaning that Flashy Flash Sonic aren't really going to be able to take him down without Blast's help. So they formulate a plan after receiving a letter of challenge from Sonic, and that's because Sonic was given the instructions by the Heavenly Ninja Party, which was recruited by Empty Void to lure Flashy Flash out to essentially pull Flashy Flash over to God's side and make him another disciple for him, just the way that Empty Void is, or just straight up kill him. So that's why they're using Sonic for this. Then after reading the letter, Flash and Blast devise a plan in case Empty Void shows up at this meeting place, which seems likely, and like we were saying, they're gonna need Blast to fight against him. So Blast gives him like this communicator and tells him to alert him if he shows up. Then Flash gives Blast directions to where the meeting place is for their fight, but it seems like he's giving Blast the wrong directions because he kind of wants to take care of this by himself, since the meeting place is where Flashy Flash and Sonic picked to make the new version of the Ninja Village that doesn't raise psychos. And this is also where it's revealed that Saitama is gonna pretty much sit this one out and kind of just gonna have curry udon with Monako. So coming into this chapter, we see that Sonic and Flashy Flash have met at the meeting place for their final battle, but we quickly go into a flashback after that, which I assume is the moment where Sonic and Flashy Flash meet for the first time as children in the Ninja Village. They're both placed in like the weakling group, which is called Squad 5. And I assume this is because they're both not psychopaths. This is also probably the reason why they get along so quickly, because we find out that in the Ninja Village, there's like 72-hour days, and 6 of those are dedicated to sleeping. The food had no flavor, and all info from the outside was completely blocked off. And they spent every day living as machines that did nothing but learn skills for killing, and they were not allowed to display any human emotions. And those with dead emotions were considered top performers. So yeah, that's not so much the case with Flashy Flash and Sonic, especially as kids. So like I said, understandable that they would get along quickly, and that they did. They developed a quick camaraderie, with Sonic even showing Flashy Flash some special assassination techniques. This kind of one-on-one training and camaraderie, obviously they weren't allowed to have. Then we come back to the present and the fight starts, and you would expect Flashy Flash to just beat down Sonic considering how much more powerful he is on paper, but no, that's not the case at all. Sonic is extremely competitive in this fight and actually has moments where he has the upper hand on Flashy Flash. Like I said in the beginning, this is a vast improvement on their original fight because, like we've been talking about, this whole arc has been retconned from the original. And in the original, the fight was kind of lackluster and pretty one-sided, but now this more so parallels to its webcomic equivalent, which I also talked about in my original reviews for these chapters, back with the original continuity, which I think is very fitting because Sonic should be able to be a good matchup for Flashy Flash since he knows his style and straight up helped train him. And we see some awesome sequences, such as them like trading wind blade kicks, Sonic getting hit with flash kicks, which is one of his ultimate techniques, and pretty much just taking it and retaliating with like shurikens. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Hofsco, because Hofsco has their new Porto Max electric scooter for commute and grocery shopping. It has a 500-watt peak power motor with a max speed at about 19 miles per hour. It has an uphill climbing of about 15 degrees, has a max range of 35 miles, and a 36-volt long-range lithium-ion battery. It also has 3 speed modes: L, which is low for 4 miles per hour, M for medium for 12 miles per hour, and then high if you're really trying to get somewhere quick with 19 miles per hour. It also has a double brake system, which is highly responsive and energy saving and improves your riding safety, whether it's rain or shine. So I really love this thing. It is so easy and convenient. I love just tapping on the throttle and letting this thing go, especially for me because I don't have a car and I live downtown and I'm constantly going places and needing to pick things up. So having the utility rear cargo basket is really a game changer. I could just load this stuff up with groceries groceries or a package or anything that I'm doing that day, and I don't really have to worry about it anymore. It's such a great way to get me from point A to point B. And I also love the folding aspect of it, so I can just store it easily, whether it's in a car or in my house somewhere. And it also has these great smart headlights that will auto light up when entering a dark place. It of course improves the safety of riding at night. So guys, you can get your very own Hofsco Porto Max electric scooter by clicking the link in the description, because right now you can get the limited time deal of $50 off by using code MTV. Again, I'll have the link in the description. Thanks, guys. Then Sonic is able to hit Flashy with the 9 Shadow Funeral that he turns all into wind blade kicks. This is a really cool sequence that not even Flashy Flash is able to get the upper hand on, with Sonic almost catching him off guard, until Flash is pretty much forced to use his ultimate technique, the Flash Fist, which is incredible look. It's like a meteor coming down almost. And this makes Flash realize how far Sonic has come, because he didn't think that he'd have to use like his ultimate technique against him. And Flash is like, you know, it's too early to give up the way you are now. We could, and before he can finish that sentence, the Heavenly Ninja Party shows up. And what he was going to say was basically like, we can work together, which is like the whole point of this fight. Like, they want to be friends. They kind of just have to get this fight out of their system. It's been built up for a very long time. You know, they haven't really seen each other since the end of the Ninja Village when they were kids, and they've both led different paths and become much different people. But in the end, they were always super compatible. But now that the Heavenly Ninja Party has showed up, they realize that Flash and Sonic are kind of just doing their own thing and not working with them, which what they originally thought. Because, you know, like I said, they originally contracted Sonic to lure Flashy Flash out, but they're seeing here that it wasn't the time that they agreed on or the place. Then Sonic comes back and just blitzes through the Heavenly Ninja Party. Turns out Sonic was able to just take that Flash Fist as well, showing that, yeah, he's pretty powerful now. I think the consensus at this point is Flash is probably around like high dragon level, somewhere around there. So really impressive that Sonic is able to take these shots. Sure, Flashy isn't trying to kill him, but Sonic has probably progressed to at least dragon minimum level at this point, probably. Then once it's revealed that Sonic is pretty much turning on them, and of course, you know, keeping up his facade, saying, you know, I wanted to take down Flash myself rather than hand him over, because it was revealed at the end of the previous chapter that Sonic isn't on board with Empty Void or the Heavenly Ninja Party, which is something that Flash like needed to confirm for himself before going into this fight with him. And then the Heavenly Ninja Party's like, have you lost your mind? We're just gonna kill both of you now. All of us are extremely powerful elite ninjas. It's pointless to try to take us all on. And then Sonic looks at them and he's like, they're so tiny, smaller than grains of sand, relating them to Saitama. And this is where like the terrifying aura of him comes back, because we get like this incredible panel of like Sonic envisioning Saitama just as a mountain over them, which essentially he is. We all know the dynamic between Sonic and Saitama at this point in the series, and Sonic has fought against him many times and has been punched by him and, you know, defeated many times as well. So he knows what true absolute power is. So pretty much everything at this point for Sonic will always be comparing someone to Saitama. And when he looks at the Heavenly Ninja Party, he's like, yeah, you guys are nothing compared to him. So naturally, he's super confident in his ability against them at this point. But I really like this sequence because, you know, first of all, Saitama looks awesome, and it just shows how far Sonic has become. And instead of really chasing after Saitama as like a trophy, he more so just sees him as possibly a force of nature at this point, something that he doesn't really have control over. And somehow like Flash knows that Sonic is thinking of Saitama here, because he's like, so you just don't keep challenging Cape Baldy for the sake of it. And then at the end of the chapter, Sonic's like, but for now, let's shut up these guys, shall we? So yeah, they're gonna work together as we saw before and just completely clown the Heavenly Ninja Party. But what happens after that, really up in the air. Very likely that Empty Void is gonna show up, and if they fight against him, they're gonna get absolutely destroyed, because he's way more powerful now than what he was in the original version when they fought against him. So maybe Blast shows up quicker. Really remains to be seen, but let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys, and if you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.